They say one person's trash is another person's treasure. But for me, each and every yard sale we had was so much more than that. It was a way for me to find closure and to finally let go as a recovering hoarder. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Hoarder's Heart. We are freshly back from vacation, literally just walking through the door and unpacking and doing laundry. And it really laid on my heart that I wanted to create a video of all the yard sales that we've had over the years. Because every box, every table, every driveway deal wasn't just about clearing out clutter in my house. It was so much more. It was so much deeper. It was about recovering in my hoarding disorder that I had since I was a child. Over the years, I have turned my old chaos into thousands of dollars. And today, I'm sharing exactly how selling my life, yard sale by yard sale, not only lightened my home, but it completely changed my future for myself and my family.
Over the years, we have hosted many yard sales. Even before I started this channel, pre-2019, I used to host yard sales all the time, even with friends. And we have let go of so many things. And it wasn't just about making money each time. It was so much deeper. It wasn't just a casual weekend event. It was the result of years of holding on to things in our home and our basement. We pulled up thousands of items from hidden corners of our house, things that had been stored away for so long that they've been forgotten. So every table and every rack and every box was filled with pieces of our past. Hosting yard sales wasn't only about making space, it was about taking another step in my decluttering journey. It was about letting these items find new homes and giving myself closure by letting the items go because I could see people so happily purchase the item and I knew that they were going to use it in their homes too. So every time we decided to host a yard sale, it wasn't just about pulling boxes out of the basement or in a corner or closet. It was about facing years of stored up emotions. As a recovering hoarder, every trip downstairs was like stepping back into pieces of my past. All the memories, all my regrets, all the things I once thought I couldn't let go of because I had such a tight grip on them. Bringing each item outside of my house wasn't just physical work. It was a lot of emotional work. I had to remind myself over and over again that these items have served their purpose, even if that purpose was simply bringing me comfort at that time. Now it is time for them to move on and bring value to somebody else. Lining them up on tables for the yard sales was a mixture of anxiety and relief. It's hard to let strangers pick through your belongings, but it's also empowering to see these things finally leave my home, knowing that I'm creating space for peace, not just for my house, but for my heart. Now, I always kept the yard sale bins in the basement. It used to be kind of mixed and not organized. And over time, I finally did start organizing it. But admittedly, in the early yard sales, I mean up to 2024, whatever was left over at a yard sale, I would bring it back down. There were some things that I put for free, and there were some things that I definitely did take to Goodwill. But there was always a few bins that I still had to hold on to and bring back out for the next yard sale. It was just where my baseline was because the coding was that certain stuff still made me feel safe. And I had to honor the emotions of where I was because I did that, I finally got better, and in 2025 was able to let go of everything in a yard sale and not let anything come back into the basement. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yard sales are a lot of work. Setting up tables, bringing up boxes, pricing items, waking up early. Sometimes you wonder if it's even worth the money alone. But here's the truth. For me, it's never been just about the money. The real value is in the closure. When I see someone pick up a set of dishes I never used or a decoration I once loved but no longer need, and their faces light up because it's perfect for them, that's when I feel it. It's like the item gets a second life, and I get to release it without guilt. It's no longer something I'm holding on to just in case. It's okay to let it go because someone else is giving it purpose again. And over the years, I've learned a few things that make yard sales smoother. Nothing complicated, just little tricks that help. One tip is group similar items together. That would be my number one tip. It makes it easier for people to shop and find things that they're interested in. My next important tip is price things to move. I remind myself that the goal is to let it go. I'd rather see it leave for $1 than have it sit in my basement for another year. And I cannot tell you how many times people have told me that they were at other yard sales and their prices were so high. High, like not that much cheaper than brand new in a store. And that made them not want to buy anything. And when they come to mine and they find out my prices are very low and realistic, they tend to buy more of the stuff that I'm offering. So that's why it's very important to price things to move out of your house. And my last big tip is that I always try to set the tone with a warm atmosphere. A smile, a friendly hello, maybe even like some music I've played in the background before. It makes people want to stay and look around. It's those small touches that make it less stressful for me and more enjoyable for everyone stopping by. Because at the end of the day, the yard sale isn't just about clearing space or making money. It's about creating closure, making peace, and watching my things get a second chance with somebody else. Now, I do have a yard sale checklist. If you're interested, you can check in the description box below if you would like one so that you can start prepping for your own yard sale too. And I will add that it is very important to have low bills at your yard sale before it starts. Always have change ready because it always happens every yard sale that someone wants something for $1 or $2 and will have a 20 on them, and you need to be able to break it for them. Now, let's talk about money because that is a big motivator to have yard sales. Now, I would say over the years, I have averaged about $200 to $250. Now, I wish I had more footage of all the yard sales that I've had because I've honestly been having yard sales since I kind of moved here back in like 2008. I've always hosted one. So on average, I've probably had at least 15 yard sales on my property. So if I take the number of 216, which I saw twice in these videos, and times it by 15, that gives me $3,240. And maybe that doesn't seem like a lot, but to me, it really is. Because it's so much more meaningful than just the money. Because many of you have just seen me donate a lot of that to food pantries. Because if I can give back to the community by taking years of hoarding and transforming that energy into putting food on the table for many families so that they're able to feed their loved ones, then that just brings so much peace and closure in my heart where I can keep those years of hoarding in the past. And let's not forget about how many bins we've emptied out over the years. Sure, with all those basement declutters, we refilled a lot of the tubs, and when the next yard sale came, we were able to empty them out. But all these yard sales wasn't just about clearing out thousands of items from my home. It was about releasing years of emotional weight with my hoarding disorder. And while clearing stuff out and the money was definitely a blessing, the real reward is the space, the freedom, and the relief I feel knowing that these items are out of my house and I gave them away, or we donated them to a place to help somebody else. Every single item that left this home represents one less piece of chaos in my life, and I'm proud of the progress, grateful for the support, and reminded that letting go creates room for something much more valuable than things, and that is peace of mind and the freedom of living without my hoarding disorder and the anxiety and need to hold on to everything. And my hope, my prayer, is that this video motivated and encouraged you to clean, declutter, and let something go in your home today too.